On this show, we feature Teri Holland. You might remember me from my TV shows in the 1980s and 90s. And now I host a show featuring some of the most inspiring and inspirational people. Welcome to Magical People. Teri Holland helps entrepreneurs and high performers to move from where they are to where they want to be in a short period of time. She studied high performance and life enhancement for over a decade and has over 15 years of experience as an entrepreneur. She's the creator and host of a #1 self-improvement podcast on iTunes and top 1% podcast worldwide, Success in Mind, and the founder of the Teri Holland Company. She's trained with master trainer Dr. Tad James, and she's a certified trainer of NLP, hypnotherapy trainer, and master timeline therapy trainer. And we're back. I've got my very special guest this week, Teri Holland. How are you, Teri?
I'm great, thank you. Good to see you.
Same. It's been a little while. You've been on some of my other shows, my other webcasts and podcasts and all of that. But sure is neat to have you on this one. I looked at your website recently and I got all excited again. First of all, I love how clean it is. It's easy to navigate. It's easy to read. And I noticed on there, I'm going to briefly touch on this. If you want to expand, fantastic. Visibility and confidence coach. I think that's actually on Instagram, but it's very relevant. Mind performance coach and trainer. You coach your clients on high performance communication, public speaking, and podcasting. I want to expand a little bit later on podcasting. So let's talk about that in case people aren't familiar with those terms.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, I know, but believe me, I know. Confidence coach, I think, is self-explanatory. Mind performance sounds intriguing. I think I have some idea of that, but let's kind of elaborate on that.
Sure. So I chose that name, Mind Performance Coach, because I do work a lot with high performance, but I really go deep into the unconscious mind of why aren't we performing the way we want? What's stopping a person from achieving the goals that they want to achieve? And then for myself, it's a little bit of a play on the word performance. I have a background in theater as an actor and performer, so I like bringing those elements into my work as well. So it's a little bit of a play on the word performance and then working with the mind.
Awesome. And people should know as well that you're a clinical hypnotherapist. Let's show off a little bit. I want to show you off a little bit because you have very, very impressive credentials. So maybe we can go there and talk about your clinical hypnotherapy, NLP, and timeline. Maybe elaborate in case people aren't familiar with those things as well.
Sure. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. And the best way to describe that is it's a study of excellence and how to achieve it in your life. So NLP is really looking at your neurology, the human nervous system, the language we use to communicate and to label our world, also how we talk with ourselves. It's the language of the mind. And then the programming piece is behavior, all the things that we do that either get us results that we want or results that we don't want, and then how to change that behavior. So that's NLP. Hypnosis, a lot of people are familiar with, but maybe have been misled a little bit by Hollywood. So hypnosis is a way of changing behaviors at that deeply unconscious level, communicating with the unconscious mind to make lasting change, profound lasting change. It's not mind control. It's not power over another, as Hollywood has led to believe. It's a very gentle therapeutic practice. So that's hypnotherapy. And then timeline therapy really comes out of both NLP and hypnotherapy. And it's a way of going back and resolving the past. So for people who are holding on to past negative emotions or limiting decisions they made in the past, like I'm not good enough, I can't have what I want, timeline therapy is really powerful at resolving that in the past to create a compelling future moving forward.
I love that you've got so many tools in your tool belt, if you will. I love also this quote in regards to your podcast, that it's a resource for bar raising game changers.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true. I know it is. And having a podcast can be so crucial for many people, but especially people who want to reach, um, the masses, if you will, and then kind of pull them in and educate them a little bit as to how they can be like miles better, or even light years. I prefer to say light years because I'm a Trekkie. So Star Wars, what's that? I'm a Trekkie. In any case, I love that. You're helping them to raise the bar. And how they do that is to get rid of, and I think you mentioned this earlier, on getting rid of, or helping them to get rid of self-limiting thoughts and ideas. And without doing that, they're kind of stuck. They're kind of average. They're at best, maybe they're trying to achieve and they're not achieving their full potential if maybe their
Yeah.
self-esteem is low or their worthiness is low. And how crucial is to get to those key moments, those causes, if you will, of those, I'm not going to call them symptoms, they're states of being.
Right. Yeah.
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 Um,
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. See, that's the problem with being right online with each other. It's like we're both going to be talking at the same time. It's so important about bar raising, and
Mhm.
maybe share with everyone out there how your Success in Mind podcast can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Success in Mind podcast, it really is about that success in mind. So I talk a lot about the tools that I use, the techniques I use in terms of how to use these to elevate your life. And then I bring on expert guests as well to talk about specific strategies in business. The podcast really does cater towards leaders and entrepreneurs. So we talk a lot about business strategy. I bring on guests to talk about how they've built their 8-figure business in different aspects or how to find your niche in business. And then I take care of all the mindset stuff. So it's really a blend of strategy and mindset to make it a whole approach to what I call whole life success.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so crucial. I noticed on your website as well what you offer. I'm sure you probably have offered more than what I'm about to mention.
Mhm.
But let's touch on those things. One-on-one coaching, online courses, and actually there's at least six, one of which is free, and I'd like to chat about that in a few minutes, and a private community. So let's elaborate a little bit on what you have to offer via your website.
Yeah, for sure. So, like you mentioned, I do one-on-one coaching and hypnotherapy, and then I have my online courses. So, I have courses on sales. So if you're looking to increase your sales, there's a course on podcasting, how to launch your podcast, one for confidence. So for anyone who's feeling like you could use a little boost in confidence. Um, and then there's the community, as you mentioned, and the community is called the Level Up Club. It's not on social media, so we're off the social media platforms for anyone who's tired of Facebook groups. It's not that, but we have our own platform where we can engage and connect. I run challenges through it. We do live meetups or online live meetups through the community. So I do that, and I don't even remember what other courses I have on there right now.
Let me refresh your memory.
Thank
No,
you.
I'm joking. I do have my cheat sheet here,
Perfect.
so that helps. Obviously, one-on-one coaching, the online courses. it
Mhm.
says level up your life and business, which you just spoke about, is
Oh,
free.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's extraordinary. I think it's
Mhm.
extraordinary that you actually offer a free course. And that's probably so people can see really the worth of it and
Mhm.
either stick with that or move as they grow and change to onto something else that you offer.
Yeah.
So it's I have to commend you for that highly for at least offering a free thing. And you're helping people automatically, people who are drawn, or I like to say, helping them to help themselves ultimately and re-empower themselves. So
Yeah.
that is so cool. I noticed the name of your blog is the same as your podcast, Success
Yeah.
in Mind. And I took a quick glance because of time restraints today. I love it. I love the way you write. When are you going to write that book? I've been
Um,
nagging Terry for the longest time to do that. I won't nag you anymore. You'll get around to it. I'm sure you will. But I love the fact that you put into words things. It's not just the verbal media or the vlogcast now, as we're calling webcasts. I
yeah.
saw that recently. I like calling it that. But success in mind, it's all I no facetiousness intended. It's all in the mind, and
Absolutely.
and I love that you're using your blog and your podcast to reflect this and to touch people in positive and constructive ways.
Thank you. Yeah, and the blog really just builds off of the podcast. So for people who maybe don't want to listen to the podcast, they'd rather read something, the blog is the same type of content that you'll find on the podcast, just in a written form.
Yes, awesome. Have you heard about Substacks?
Yeah.
As well. I've recently gone on that. Um, I haven't decided whether I'm going to permanently stick to it or not, but I'm kind of obsessed with social media and I like to get stuff out there.
Yeah.
Um, Substacks reminds me kind of a blog, but you can also do a podcast and a webcast on that as
Yeah.
well. And there's some very big people on there. I think it's still in the nucleus stage, if you will. It's still growing. It's very, very cool. But I just had a vision of you perhaps trying that and being on there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And to me, when I think of you, I think of the sky's the limit,
Mm.
that we're only limited by our own selves, our own subconscious mind, our own self-limiting beliefs, if you will.
Yeah.
And I love that I was going to use the term chisel away or help people to chisel away at their self-limiting beliefs. I like to think that it's more a fluid process and it's almost like this is getting Zen. I didn't mean to go there, but like a river flowing through a mountain. And that's probably more apropos to where you go to. And maybe share with us a little bit an example. Let's say somebody comes to you and, well, they have some fear
Sure.
and they have no idea where that fear is coming from, and it is limiting them to
Hmm.
fully achieve their potential. Let's say, well, fill in the blanks where what the top of the mountain is for them, but they can't quite. They're crawling up that mountain and they're looking for
Yeah.
tools, and just they don't completely have self confidence or faith in themselves. Where would you take them? How might you help them?
So typically when a client works with me, I start with timeline therapy because I feel like we could talk strategy, we could I could give them lots of tools to use, but unless all that stuff in the past has been cleaned up, it doesn't matter how good the strategy will be, it won't work. It's like putting the best computer software on a broken hard drive. It's not going to work. So we clean up the past stuff. So we start with letting go of past negative emotions. So anything they're holding on to, in your example, would be fear, would be the predominant one. And then looking at those limiting decisions and beliefs, releasing those in the past with timeline therapy. And then when we have that clean slate, we look at now what needs to happen. So we start changing the behaviors and installing new habits, uh, success strategies. So, what is it that they need to do each day that's going to help them succeed at what they want? and we're not weighed down by all that stuff in the past, it's a lot easier to move forward with ease and clarity. So that person who's struggling to achieve their goals and they're just not getting there, a lot of times clients will say, I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. I'm spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'm never moving ahead. That's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy going everywhere and nowhere, and it's not producing results. So after doing this work, clients feel like it's easy to move forward. They're not exhausted all the time. They can achieve their goals efficiently and with ease.
Absolutely. It's life altering,
Yeah.
literally. As a clinical hypnotherapist myself, I've worked with a number of modalities, and it is life altering. It's a bit of a process. I like to speed things up a little bit so they don't have to keep coming back, spending money, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But in the end result is so rewarding, isn't it, Terry?
Absolutely. And that's what I love about timeline therapy is it's fast. So when
Yes.
clients think that, oh, this is going to take forever. I had a client the other day who said to me, it's taking me 54 years to build up these problems. It's going to take another 54 to get rid of them. And I said, no, it's going to take us 4 hours. And that was it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Um, Not only are your therapies and your blogs and your podcasts and all effective, if people haven't looked at it yet, people maybe who have questions or doubts, or they feel they really want to move forward in their life. I'm not just saying that to be nice or to promote you. I have faith in you, Terry. I know a lot of your work. People have to go to your website at the very least. And I'm looking at it. I can mention what it is, terryholland.ca, and it'll be at the bottom of this broadcast as we're talking. You
Great.
have to look at it. And I really do. A lot of people are going to resonate
Mhm.
to your site, and they're going to go, oh, there's going to be a fluidity, if you will, to it. And they're going to go, oh, yes, and one thing is going to lead into another, and something is going to grab them. And that's the kind of energy, if you will, the kind of feeling behind your website, which is very good. It's one of, and again, I'm not just trying to be nice, it's one of the better, if not one of the best websites I've seen.
Oh.
It's not cluttered with graphics, unnecessary graphics and pictures and all this, which
Mhm.
many of us tend to get caught up in. It's very succinct. It's very visually clean. As a graphic designer, I can
Thanks.
appreciate that as well. But as a consumer, as a marketing person too, it's brilliant. It's like, there
Thank
it
you.
is. Well, it's true. You're welcome, but it's absolutely true. And I love the term success in mind, because
Thanks.
it's all in the mind, which is the key really to
Mhm.
everything, everything indeed. Um, where else? I have a feeling you have other things planned that you're not sharing right now. So I want to kind of tease viewers right now and get you to hint or talk about perhaps things that you're aiming for in the near future.
Sure. We have a speaker training coming up in February, so that'll be on the website and released soon. As soon as we confirm our location for the training, that one is in person. So I have that coming up. A self hypnosis course that I'll be offering coming up soon as well. And I'm always running a podcast challenge, which is a 5-day launch your podcast live online training. So that happens every few months, and the next one will be released shortly.
Awesome. Awesome. I saw that a while ago, the podcast challenge. I thought it was not only brilliant, but so useful for people out there wanting to start a podcast. And if you're not, why not? Um,
Yeah.
no, it's not as easy as people think. We make it look easy. We're prepared, we chat. Um, because I was in television for 9 years, I had a regular show every week. I'm doing the switching here back and forth. I'm aware of that and all that in
Right.
green screen. So you're able to share so much about starting a podcast. And it's complicated, but it's not intimidating.
Mhm.
I won't say that anybody can start a podcast, but at least if you're willing, if you're passionate about it, because I believe that passion is the key to just about everything, to accomplishing anything.
Right.
Then you're their man, so to speak. You're
Mhm.
their go-to person. And again, if anybody gets a hold of that on social media, on Facebook or Instagram, why not jump in? Why not go for it? You'll only be there to help them, encourage them, motivate them, and maybe light a little fire under them and create more passion. So I'm excited to look at that as well. Again, to revisit your podcast challenge.
Mhm.
Um, when was that again? When was the date on that?
So it'll be in January. I don't have the start date confirmed yet, but it will be in January. And I'm going to run a Black Friday special for it. So if anyone's, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
so that will be coming
Very,
up.
very cool. So I mentioned your website address, your URL, terryholland.ca. Are
Mhm.
there other ways that folks out there can contact you?
The best way is through Instagram. That's where I spend the most of my time, and that's where you'll get to know me the fastest and the best is on Instagram, and it's the Teri Holland on Instagram.
Excellent. The Terry Holland. I think in the past, that's how I've contacted you as well.
Yep.
It's fast. It's
Yeah.
very, very cool. Of course, you have a Facebook page, or you're on Facebook as well. I don't remember if you tweet or X now, as they call it. No idea why he went to X instead of Twitter. At least it's not triple X, whatever. Um, so, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I think we got it all.
I really think so as well. I have to thank you so much for joining me this day, Terry. And again, I'm not pleading. I'm almost ordering folks out there who feel they need a little bit of a, to call it a kick in the butt is probably too much, and it's not the correct energy there. But if you need the motivation, if you need to get to the source, the whole reason why you're not completely achieving your what you're wanting to, Terry, whichever side you're on, is your person, your go-to person. I highly recommend her, and I can't wait until we chat again soon.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks again, Terry, for joining us this day. And of course, I want to thank everybody out there for joining us as well. We'll see you all on Magical People really soon.